Today we're visiting Dover Castle in South England. So for over 2000 years, white cliffs protecting England. This castle is one of the biggest castles here. It's built in 1066 by William the Conqueror. This is a big castle, so we're going to spend a lot of time here. But before we enter the big castle, we visit a small museum to see some of the history. And now we are ready for the big castle. Want to wear something? No? No?
Thank you.
So it's really cool that they remake the furniture and like the kitchen with the pots and pans and the stove, so that they remake that so you have the feeling of the room. Otherwise it's just like four walls and a sign that says this was the kitchen. So I know it's a little bit of childish or something, or like a theme park, but it's really like if you have a lack of imagination, you have the feeling that how it was. So I really like it. It's really nicely done. So my daughter points out something I didn't realize. if you look at a castle like this one, you say, oh, there's probably like 50 or 100 rooms inside. But that's not the case, because the rooms are really big and they are like and high, and there are like 5 or 6 windows for each room, because there was no electricity and you had to have a sunbeam or some, everywhere the sun is turning, you have light inside. So not so much rooms inside, but
And the walls are very thick.
and the walls are very thick, as I think it was for the cold winter to survive. There was no electricity then back then, so no heating.
No
just
stovke.
just some stovkes, some
Firetjes.
fires, open fires. I always wondering if I should go back like for 5 minutes. I would like that, not long. I don't want to be in a war, just to feel how warm it was. I always think if I'm going in a castle, it's a cold feeling. Is it really a cold feeling in reality? Maybe it was more warm than we think.
That's
But
possible.
then the standards were lower and they were tougher.
Indeed.
It starts raining, and because we had the last week of nice weather, we all said we're not going to take our jackets or sweaters because it's always nice in England. Not always. Oh, look. Everything is in the car. Rain jackets and sweaters. Well done, guys. Thank you. So that was the first day of our vacation. English weather. Now the last day, again the same thing. Sorry. So the word knight, we thought that was a knight was to fight. So, but actually, the word knight comes from the Dutch word knecht. It starts raining a lot. So it's to serve another person, not to fight. So to serve. And from the age of 7, you are ready to leave your parents and sent to a castle like this one, and to serve somebody. I have to run
Why?
inside.
You're
It's not like in
melting?
Sri Lanka.
You're
It's-
not gonna melt, you know?
I'm from chocolate. Look at the lens. So now we're going to enter the underground hospital. It's a guided tour, and it's around, I will look, normally I have my watch and this is, I cannot watch it. So it's like another 10 minutes before we can enter. There are 2 tours. There's the underground hospital, and there is the underground operation rooms from the liberation of Dunkirk. Let's see this one. Unfortunately, I could not film inside the tunnels of the hospital. It was really cool made. It was, you can walk through it and you hear a voice of people that are injured and a surgeon, and then you walk through the tunnels, then the lights go on and off with some bombing. So really realistic, so you have the feeling of being there when it's all in war. Let's say it's not cool that I say war is cool, but it's really well made. But you cannot film inside. And my guess is in case of a war, let's hope not, but in case of a war, they can reuse these tunnels, because if there are footage or pictures and movies on the internet, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, the enemy can look at it and see where they have to bomb. So I guess that's the case of why you cannot film inside. It was worth visiting. We have finished this Dover Castle, but just right beside Dover Castle there are the white cliffs of Dover, and we have seen that from France. If it's clear weather, you can see the white cliffs of Dover. Today it's so clear that you can see England really from a distance. We are in France. You can really see the white cliffs of Dover from here. So they are really famous. We're going to stop there before we take the train back home. So these are the white cliffs of Dover. You can hike into a lighthouse. That's 50 minutes walk. We're doing a small tour now because we have to take the train back. Really cool to see the white cliffs of Dover. Of course, we have already seen big cliffs in this vacation, but if you are just crossing the North Sea from France to England, you can do this for one day, for example, or for a weekend. And it's really lovely place here to hike and to visit. You can also visit Canterbury. That's also a very, very nice little English town with a beautiful cathedral, but maybe that's for another time.